it's a diverse church, so if you're looking for something that's inclusive yet still acknowledges what's going on in our society and our nation, like our pastor and our, like the rest of the pastor leadership, they on fleek. I'm going to share some of my notes from church. The title of the message was Get Your Mind Right. So one of the things that he mentioned was that when some people think of Christianity and having to, or choosing to surrender, they think about all of the limitations and rules that they feel like come along with Christianity and the things that they would have to give up, not realizing that when you choose to live for God, it's like infinite.
When you choose to live for God, it doesn't limit you. It actually frees you.
Right.
That's what he was trying to say.
Right.
So.
And then he was saying how it's almost like there's like a conditional aspect to living as a Christian for some of us. We compartmentalize our Christianity and we choose where we want God to work in our lives. For instance, he mentioned we trust you with, giving us patience and salvation. But when it comes to my finances, I got it. When it comes to my job, I got it. When it comes to my family, I got it. So you're trying to pick and choose where you want God to work in your life, when the goal is you want your life to be consumed by God and not just picking and choosing what aspects you want him to work in. Which ties it up to his point. God's best and God's way can't be disconnected. So you can't really fully receive the blessings that God have for you if you're not trying to live for him, if you're not trying to do things his way.
As a black man, it was very comforting to see our pastor, a white man, to announce that, Black Lives Matter. I was kind of thinking about that during the week as to how churches in general, including our church, how would they respond to, the deaths of the two black men this past week, and even like the shootings in Dallas. To hear our pastor acknowledge the Black Lives Matter movement and be in support of it, that made me feel more comfortable with my decision to attend the Life Church. Mm-hmm. And the fact that after he gave his spiel about what was going on this past week, the entire church, there's black, white, Asian, Hispanic, all different races. We all came together to hold hands and really pray over the entire city and nation as well. Something that resonated with me during Pastor Johnny's message was that we had to unsubscribe from the negativity, and that's something that I've been trying to filter out, with my social media and with my circle of friends, is that when we surround ourselves and we're subscribed to the negativity, it brings negative thoughts on us. So we think, this person, he's got all these clothes, he's going everywhere, he's doing this, he's doing that, and we don't stop to realize that our lives are just as blessed as somebody else's lives. Yeah. You're living your life. God has blessed you with your situation, and it's up to you to make the most out of your situation and not compare yourself to somebody else's. With that negativity thought, I've been seeing a lot of negative responses to what happened this past week, as far as black versus white, and even some black people against certain black people, depending on the different points of view. And what I would like for it to happen is to reach a point of peace. I know it's impossible, but I would like a closer peace to happen. But it's just a matter of trusting God and surrendering your life to God, because I know Rev Ron always said this on his TV show Run's House, but God is love. Yeah. And when you have love for someone who doesn't even love you, that's stronger than any word, any action, anything. Love is peace. It brings peace. And so I just want our nation and our world to remember that love always wins. Love drives out the hate. And if we can understand that and realize that, I think that we will have a better understanding of how to deal with several of our issues going on in the world. Again, we're not of this world, so it's impossible to completely drive out what's been going on this past week. But I think that if we learn to love each other despite our differences, that will be, the answer to really all of our problems. I know some people are going out to the Black Lives Matter protests. I just ask that everyone, be peaceful. Say your piece. But emphasizing violence is not gonna solve anything, honestly. So I just pray that everybody stays safe, keep God first, and love each other while they're protesting.
I like how one of our pastors mentioned that, it's one thing to be collective and unified in the church, but he encouraged us to not just let it be limited to church, but also, how Marcus mentioned, we came together, linked up and prayed, but also being like that outside of church in your everyday life. Take a moment to think about the type of people that you hang around with, and try to be more intentional about experiencing the diversity that God created, instead of just being around one type of group or person. Just being open to that. And I just feel compelled as a Christian to be a living sacrifice for God, and to try to exude qualities that he possessed, despite the negativity that's going on.
God calls for us to be a beacon of hope, for other people, whether that's like through a testimony or through your actions. I think what I'm gonna do in response to like this past week, and then like the message today, is to continue to pursue God and pursue what He has for my life, and submit to it completely. Even though I might have questions about like, why has God placed me in this situation? I don't understand what's going on, but at the end of the day, God has a plan for all of us, and He's a perfect God. He doesn't make any mistakes, despite the fact that we do. So everything happens for a reason, and I think becoming more understanding and more accepting of that allows me to be at peace more and accept, the people around me.
Many plans are in a man's heart, but the counsel of the Lord will stand.
Amen.
Yep. So we're rising above, and while we acknowledge, the other subgroups that we belong to, Christianity, that's the main one. So. Your beard looks nice.
Huh?
Your beard.